Hi guys, it's Ms. Richards from the Rocketing Minds Distance Learning Channel, and I just wanted to take a minute to give you guys some tips on behavior. So one of the most important things to remember when you're trying to work on problematic behavior with children is that they really need structure. And so one of the best things you can do is to have a daily schedule, or if it's during the school year, then to have an after-school schedule. When kids don't know their expectations, that's typically when you're gonna start to see the problematic behavior get worse. If you want, you can go to our Teachers Pay Teacher store at Rocketing Minds, and we have our extended learning schedule that you can use while we're stuck at home during the whole coronavirus that you can use for learning. And you can just go to our playlist and click play, and it'll take you through the whole day, all the activities in our schedule. And that will help at least get them on some sort of schedule that keeps their routine the same. So the second thing that you're going to want to work on is positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is when you give something to the child that the child really enjoys or likes, to help reinforce whatever positive behavior that you're seeing in them that you want them to keep doing. So the number one form of positive reinforcement that I love to use is verbal praise. Most kids love verbal praise. So if they're working on their schedule quietly, then you can say, "You're doing such a great job working on your schedule," and continue to give them verbal praise. Another thing you can use is a token system. So a token system is going to be some sort of positive reinforcement schedule that you have, where maybe you give them a smiley face every time that you catch them working on the behavior that you want to see. So if they're sitting in their chair, if they're quiet while you're trying to work from home, then those things you're going to want to reinforce. If the verbal praise isn't necessarily reinforcing to them, then you can move to giving them some sort of token reinforcer, like the smiley faces, or perhaps some other sort of token. Some people use marbles, and they let them collect their marbles, and when they have so many marbles, they can cash those in for something. So the token's only going to be valuable in the beginning if you have some sort of thing that they can earn with the token. So if they get 4 smiley faces, maybe they earn a Starburst. And some people don't like using food, and I highly recommend not using it with food to start out unless you really need it. The best things to use to earn towards for using a token system are going to be activities. So time on the iPad, time spent with mommy, maybe mommy and me time, or daddy and me time, painting time, activities that they really enjoy. Maybe you'll read a book with them. So the third and final, most important tip I wanted to give you guys is to make sure that you spend that upfront time teaching them their schedules and using those reinforcement systems consistently. If you consistently use the schedule and consistently provide those positive reinforcement strategies we talked about in the last section, you'll start to see within a couple of days students becoming more independent, learning what the expectations are. A lot of times in my classroom, I'll typically see students start to exactly model my teaching of expectations. So when I go through the schedule, I'll put a check mark next to each box, and I'll say, "Okay, class, now it's time for reading." And I'll start to see my students volunteer to be my schedule helper, and they'll want to come up to the board and check off the box. Students are all modeling, children are all modeling, so what they see you doing, they're gonna continue to emulate and do. So if you spend that upfront time teaching them the schedule and teaching them what your behavior expectations are, it's a lot of work up front, but after a couple days, you'll start to see how they're blossoming and they're being more independent. Again, I can't stress enough the consistency element in it all. So thank you for watching, and I know you guys can do it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment something in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer your questions as quick as possible.